Is the music right?
Greetings. Yep, everything is good. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to We Do It for the Culture Radio, where our stories matter. I am your host, Lover.
And this is Mahogany Rose, and this is
We Do It for the Culture Radio. This is what we do here every Wednesday. We come to give you infotainment, give you that uncut information that only we can deliver here on We Do It for the Culture Radio. We got a great show lined up for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the midterm elections that are coming up. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, our early voting is tomorrow, I believe. So we want to make sure that you guys get all the information that you need. We're going to be talking about politics from across the board and on a local level. So we need y'all to get your popcorn ready.
Get ready to take some notes.
Tap somebody on the shoulder. Tell your mother, tell a friend, because we're going to dive right in as soon as we come right back in for We Do It for the Culture Radio. We got a great host. We got some great guests right here. What's her name again? Tell it.
Courtney Banks McLaughlin.
You gotta say it with your chest.
Courtney Banks McLaughlin.
Say it with your chest. That's right. We got the lovely councilwoman. You gotta say councilwoman.
That's right.
Courtney
That's right.
Banks McLaughlin. That's gonna be here with us today, and she's gonna give y'all a listen. She said, what she said? She ain't scared of us. She ready?
she
ready. She is ready. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna dive right in with Miss Courtney. What would you say, Miss Courtney?
Look, I was gonna say I'm ready, and if not, look, I know how to hit the leave exit button.
I know that's the truth.
Well, we're gonna dive right in. As soon as we come right back, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back in, we're gonna dive right in. We Do It for the Culture, but we'll be right back.
Be right back.
Welcome back to We Do It for the Culture Radio, where our stories matter. We got a great show lined up for you guys, a very informative show with the midterm elections starting this week. Early election starts tomorrow, so make sure you guys get out there and vote. We're going to reiterate this at the end of the show as well. But we got a great show today with Councilwoman Courtney Banks McLaughlin. Give it up for her. 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 For sure. For sure.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How you doing today, my dear?
I am doing pretty good. Such a blessing to be here with you all today, and you are reaching out and using your platform as a way to educate the people in the community. So happy to be
Absolutely.
here.
Yeah, thankful to have you, Miss.
Thank you.
Have you, Miss. Could you
Absolutely.
just give her a little synopsis on
Ooh, there's
Miss
so
Courtney
much.
Banks McLaughlin real quick so they can give the audience an idea of what she's all about.
Try to give some of the highlights. There's so many great things that she's doing. Elected in November 2019 by the residents of District 8 to serve for her community. Courtney is from Detroit, Michigan, but she decided to live in Fayetteville since 2009. She's a graduate of Denby Technical High School and Arkansas Baptist College. She earned her bachelor's degree in business administration. She earned her master's of art in human resource management at Webster University in 2008. She has demonstrated her zeal and commitment to our community as a small business owner and as an advocate for veterans and their families, along with the community involvement with groups that serve elderly, homeless, and youth. She is married to Melvin McLaughlin, an 82nd Airborne Division disabled veteran, and is a proud mother of 5 children and 1 grandbaby. McLaughlin, she also is a member of the NAACP, sorry about that, and an active member of the Order of Eastern Star and a member of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She is also involved in the Girl Scouts as well as a coach for 12 and under girls.
Goodness, you wear a lot of hats.
She does. So she really takes part in molding our community. Let's give a warm welcome to Courtney Banks McLaughlin.
Yeah, she wears a lot of hats. Goodness, she just do so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I didn't know you're from Detroit. My family's from Detroit on the east side, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I stayed on West and East Side. I actually graduated from high school on the East Side. So yeah, my family, I still have family there.
Okay.
We might be some kin.
We might, you know, my family's right off of Jefferson Highway.
Okay.
That's people on Navajo on Algonquin Street. So right over all over East Side, we right there now. A lot of my family has migrated to outside, like Southfield, Oak Park.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like that. But for the most part, I still got some in the right inside the D though. Yeah. There's so much going on in politics right now.
So very much.
So much to discuss. We can get into it all, or we can just break it down. You know, you got the January 6th committee that's still going on. We got the midterm elections. A lot still being discussed about Roe v. versus Wade. Some of these debates that's been going on recently now, considering the discrepancies with Biden winning the election and with all the bickering about the election, the fraud, stealing the election, the whole conspiracy thing, Miss McLaughlin. We had to know that the midterms was going to be a dogfight, right?
Right.
You know they was coming in with bats swinging. So, but did you expect all of this though? That's the question. I mean, they came out swinging, but did you expect it to be dogfights the way it is right now?
No, not really, but it's just when in politics you just never know, you know. So that's why it's so important for the community to get educated and get out and vote. That's the most important thing. Just like you mentioned, early voting starts tomorrow. I always tell people, you know, the actual voting date is November the 8th. However, we have early voting from tomorrow to November the 5th. I always encourage people to go out and early vote because you never know what you might face on the general election day. And then also too, those locations, the early voting sites, is determined by people that show up. So if people not showing up for early voting, guess what? They tend to shut those facilities down, shut recreation centers down, or areas that they have that set up to vote. So again, I just encourage people to make sure you come out and vote early. And again, you have the opportunity with the voting. The polls, they open early from like 6:30 in the morning. So make sure you well, on election day they open up at 6:30, I think. Yeah, 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. So definitely make sure you get out and vote. Make sure you do your research. It's so much information and resources that's that's out there. Some people are not aware of what's on the ballot. This term, it's a 2-page ballot. A 2-page ballot. So you want to make sure you do your research. You want to make sure that you go onto the website. You can go onto sbe.gov, vote early, and you can print out your sample ballot. All you have to do is go in there and put in your information, and you're able to pull that information out, and you also is able to do your research. I mean, this election we have judges on the ballot. We have district officers. We have county commissioners, board of education. We even have some bond referendums that's on the ballot. So I will just encourage people to make sure you do your research, because these are critical positions, and the people that you're electing, we're policymakers, and it makes a difference on your day-to-day living.
Now, what was that website you said they can go to?
It is ncsbe.gov, and you're able to go onto that site, key in your information, and it'll tell you what precincts you're in. It'll give you an actual sample ballot, and it's a great tool because on that sample ballot, you can print it off and highlight each area, each person that you want to elect or vote for, and you can take that ballot right into the voting precinct.
Okay, now you told me something that I didn't know. I didn't know that if you don't show up for the early voting, that they shut down many of the precincts. I didn't know that they do that.
I did not know that either.
Yes. Let me tell you, because with the facilities, they have to pay for staff to be in those facilities, for people to come out and vote. They have to pay for equipment. So if, prime example, if Cliffdale Recreation Center, they see that it's only 300 people that show up throughout the election cycle. Guess what? If Spring Lake has, well, I'll give another area. If Lake Rum has 1,000 people, guess what? And the rest of them have more people, a more number of people coming out. They're gonna close the ones where there's they have a low turnout, because they're wasting, I guess you can say, wasting money. So that's why I encourage people to come out, because we want to be able to have precincts in different areas. If people not showing up, guess what? They're going to shut those places down, and it's going to be hard for people to actually go out and vote, and it's going to also probably create long wait times.
So is that why there's so much confusion when it comes to voting polls? Why many people don't know where to go? Well,
it's two reasons where, again, some people not educated and just don't know. And that's why, again, that website, and also you can go on the City of Fayetteville website. You go on there and it tells you what precincts you in, what district you in, your voting site. Now with early voting, what's great about that is that you can go into any precinct and vote. You don't have to live in that district.
Oh, okay.
But if you wait on November the 8th, if you wait on that day, you have to go to your precinct, depending on what area you live in.
Okay, gotcha.
Are you following me? And then the thing with that is that, what was that?
Oh yeah, we're following you. Oh, definitely.
Okay, yeah. So again, if you do early voting, you can go to, you if you going to work, prime example, if you going to work, you can go to a precinct in your area that's close to you, depending on what area. Like right now, the recreation centers that's open is Cliffdale Recreation Center, College Lakes Recreation Center, and I can send this information over to you. East Regional Library, Grays Creek, Smith Recreation, Kiwanis, Spring Lake, Stony Point, and you can go to any one of those precincts to vote, whether you live in that district or whether you live in that precinct area or not. But if you wait till November the 8th, you're going to have to go to your precinct, and that's where a lot of people get confused, because some people think that, oh, I can just go to any precinct. Well, yeah, if you early vote, but not if you're voting on November the 8th, the general election date.
Gotcha. I know some places have already started early election voting, and from what I heard on the news today, they said so far the turnout has been bigger than even the presidential election. So they said the turnouts are crazy right now. So I don't think will be any shortage of early voting, considering what I'm hearing on the news as far as the turnouts is
Yeah,
happening right
yeah. I really hope a lot of people turn out, because again, on a ballot, it's you covering so much, like I mentioned, from U.S. Senate, North Carolina Supreme Court. You have your judges, your county commissioners, board of education. Those positions, that determines on your schools. When you're dealing with board of education, when you're having issues in the schools or funding, your county commissioners that's overseeing the Cumberland County, the libraries, they oversee like mental health, the sheriff department. So these are really important positions. You have judges that's making laws, making policies, and these are the ones that determine your day-to-day living. So it's definitely it's a lengthy ballot. So I would encourage everybody to go ahead and print it out, because you don't want to go in there and go any, mini, money, mo, because you don't know who's on the ballot, and you don't know, and you haven't done your research.
Right.
So you want to make sure you do your research. When you in these positions, your information is open to the public. It's open to the public, so you can simply Google many of these individuals, and some of the people that's on the ballot. Some of them are already in these positions, so you can go in to the sites, check out their voting record to see what what they stand for. So again, definitely utilize that website.
now. I heard you mention some of the races. There are several key races that's going on right now, and especially in the Senate, like places like Wisconsin. You got Pennsylvania with Dr. Oz. You got Florida with Senator Rubio. Georgia with Warnock and Herschel Walker. Even with Beasley here in North Carolina. Have you had the chance to check out any of those debates at all, Councilwoman?
I have not got a chance to tune in the debates. North Carolina, of some of them, some individuals I know, and again, to me, when it comes to, I'm not bashing debates or anything like that, but at the end of the day, I like to look at one's voting record. Prime example, like Chief Beasley, just being able to pull up information versus debate, because sometimes people will say things that, they'll say things just to make, just to try to get that support. And then once they get in there,
I saw a perfect example.
They don't do their part. So
I saw a perfect example that was Senator Rubio. He got checked for it, but he tried to lie on his debate. She checked him about a policy that she had put through, whatever. But they were definitely
hadn't put in any policies.
Right, yeah. So I was like, wow. But she checked him though. She checked him. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with watching the debates, but again, some people gonna say anything. Like if people didn't fact check that, they would have went off of what
They-
what he said. So you have to you have to dig a little bit deeper.
yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Hmm.
Now with the overturning of Roe versus Wade, Roe v. versus Wade, the Democrats had a lot of momentum and started to focus solely on that. Now, are Democrats relying too much on abortion rights as their bread and butter to win the midterms? Because uh, it's like that's all you see coming out of Democrats is Roe v. versus Wade. I mean, like you got to give people a little bit something more to to want to influence them to want to vote for you, because if you keep just abortion, I'm not to say that abortion rights are not important, but
But
you
it's
just
other
use,
issues.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So do you think that's a bad idea? They should be maybe spreading it around to different other things that's going on right now,
I
especially with economics.
Right. I would say spread it out a little bit, but I mean, I guess by that being such a hot topic, um, some people run with that. So, but it's just like, I mean, it's definitely some other issues. We facing a housing crisis, mental health, just our economic. I mean, economic is it's at a time.
Especially here, especially here, there's a lot that can be focused on here, and especially in Fayetteville. But when you look at the homelessness problem that we have here in
Mhm.
Fayetteville, but I think that they really have to, like I said, spread the love around and not focus so much on just abortion
On
rights
just one
to
thing,
to
right?
get the
Yeah,
agendas across. There's something that
yeah.
you want to add?
Oh, I do. When you hear about something that concerns our city, what are the steps that you take to address the concerns and to see that it is resolved?
Oh, she coming. Yeah, she like what?
No, I love it. Well, for me, I'm more of a hands-on person. I'm always in a community as much as I can be. So when I'm out in a community, I hear concerns, and when I hear those concerns, I try to address it. Some concerns I'm able to just pick up a phone and make it happen. Where some issues I have to bring to the council for a vote to try to get council to support, especially when it's dealing with funding. But when it's things like in neighborhoods, such as like speed bumps, certain things, I'm able to just pick up the phone or send an email to get things done. And my thing is just the communication that plays a main role in just following up, making sure that whatever issue took place was resolved.
Yeah, well, I do see that y'all changed the speed limit over here on Cliffdale. Y'all killing me,
Yes.
council.
And
Y'all killing.
let me tell you, but let me tell you, people get up. Let me tell you, people get upset. Sometimes I try my best to stay off social media, but I have to go on to kind of see what's going on and what's being said from time. Like off Hoke Loop, because we live off that road. A lot of accidents, a lot of speeding. So okay, how can we? I'm noticing this is accident. So how could we try to minimize what's taking place? Okay, changing the speed limits, putting reflectors. We're trying to find different ways to help alleviate it. Having our police officers monitor the areas. But guess what? When that happens, people on social media, watch out, the police officer sitting at such and such school or such and such. And it's like, well, you say you want to stop the speeding or people getting hurt, but yet soon as we try to you know set some
Implement this thing.
standards.
Yes. Something needed to be done because somebody's backyard was being ran into like
Yes,
often. So
and it's
something had to be
like that.
done.
And it's like that so much. People are just speeding, and again, it's the individual. It's only so much that you can do. Again, was able to put the reflectors. We have street lights up Hoke Loop now. People still the same thing. I remember when the those reflectors were placed there. Had a community watch meeting. So I was happy because with that, Hope Loop is and that's why I want to talk about that too. A Hope Loop is a state road. It's not city. So I had to, make some phone calls, work with NCDOT and our state representative at the time. And, they were able to help install those reflectors. And that same day for a community watch meeting, guess what? A car runs straight into the knock over one of the poles. So it's like.
I definitely co-sign for what you're saying because I have seen you in the community a time or two. So unlike some of the other council members who I don't ever see, you definitely are represent because you are definitely out there and you are, building relationships and meeting people on the ground level. So that's what's up. We appreciate you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Hope Loop on the state and not the city level? What's that all about? It's just
certain roads is just state roads. Not too long ago we just got it, annexed, but some of these roads are still considered the state, just like even the highways. Like a lot of people will say, hey, the city needs to do something, there's trash on the highways. Well, that's the state. Then once you go towards closer to Fort Bragg, guess what? That's the military's, that's their federal, that's their, everybody have their own jurisdiction. And I'm happy you brought that up because just like we have county commissioners, it's different. A lot of people think that me being on city council, the city runs the whole entire city. Well, sort of, kind of, but not really. You have the Cumberland County commissioners. They oversee the sheriff, DSS, anything dealing with like mental health, the library, hospitals will play a role in hospitals. Like with the city, we fund and oversee the police department, fire department, recreation center, like stormwater, public transportation, things of that nature in the roads, just depending on where, just depending on what roads. Just like the school board, and just like the school board, they oversee the schools. So it's different entities within the city and a county, and everybody have their different, their different roles. And a lot of people, they're not educated and, just simply don't know, when they have issues, a lot of them don't know who to contact. And I would always, I would encourage people to, make sure you have your council member on speed dial. Make sure you have your one of the commissioners on speed dial. Have all of these contacts, Board of Education, because they play a role when you have issues, when your trash not being picked up or a light is out. You need to be able to pick up the phone and contact your representative, if especially if we want our city and our county to be great. When you see something, you have to say something. We all have to play a role.
Gotcha. Well, I'm seeing it firsthand. I'm seeing the police, monitoring the communities. I'm seeing it firsthand. I'm seeing the speed bumps. Right. I'm seeing the speed bumps.
I know, right?
I'm seeing it all. So I hear what you're saying.
It's definitely happening.
Listen, so and then let me tell you too, with speed bumps too. A lot of people like, we need speed bumps off hopefully with certain areas. Oh no, Rose, you can't. It's impossible to have a speed bump if you're going 35. Which you can't just keep hitting speed bumps in certain neighborhoods, depending on how much traffic comes in. Some of them are not eligible because we do a traffic study. Some areas not eligible to receive a speed bump because it's not enough traffic flow in the area. And then also too, with our fire department, if they're coming to a scene, they have to roll over, drive over 5 or 6 speed bumps to get to that resident. So it's a lot of stuff that goes into the decision making in a process.
So up and down Hope Loop Road, there is a sign that says "Vote Yes." Can you please explain to us what that means?
Okay, so it's okay. So on our ballot, we have from the city. Pull up that because I want to give you the right numbers. Okay, from the city, we have 3 bonds. So a bond is where when we're asking the city, I mean, we're asking residents for money, we put it on a ballot and we allow them to vote. Um, the city, we're asking for $97 million. And I'm gonna say this: anything that the city does, it comes from taxpayer dollars. So we have that on the ballot. The $97 million. There's 3 different categories. $60 million to go towards public safety, which covers like fire station, police, and 911 centers. 25 million, and again, all this is within the $97 million. Public infrastructure, we talk about street sidewalks and connectivity, and also housing opportunities such as like housing rehabilitation, and homeowners, and that's $12 million. So again, it's 3 different bonds uh, on the ballot, and you get to vote on yes or no if you want that to be approved. Do you want to see your tax-paying dollars go towards public safety, public infrastructure, and housing opportunity? So that's what that bond is for. And you can choose out of 3. You can say yes to all 3, no to all 3, or pick one and be opposed to the other 2. But I will say that it's beneficial. It will help our community, because when you think about stormwater, roads, and different things of that nature, the city, we only have so much money. Like our budget this year was $240.3 million. We're covering a whole city. If this bond goes through, then we're able to, like, we have like a list of priorities.
Mhm.
If that bond goes through, we're able to get a jump start, a head start to other projects that we see that's needed in the city. So it's a investment for our city. Now, what's confusing, because also it's another, I guess you can call it a referendum on the ballot, and that's called the Vote Yes. Now, what you're seeing on Hope Loop, the wording is confusing, unfortunately, but what's on Hope Loop, that's from the city trying to get support for the referendum.
Okay, I
And
saw
with
that. I
that,
wanted to ask you about that because I saw that locally here on Facebook, they were facing some type of election issues with the deadline approaching for the change election for the
uh-huh,
council members. And
these two different things. So the one I'm speaking of that you're seeing on Hope Loop, that say I can't remember what it says. Something Fayetteville, vote Fayetteville first, or something like that.
Mhm.
Again, that's for the referendum to fund the city with our taxpayer dollars to be able to get the $97 million. Then on the it's another item on there, and that's for what they call it. It's called the Vote Yes, and what they're trying to do is restructure the way how council is currently set up. Right now, the council, you have 9 council members, and you have the mayor. The 9 council members represent certain areas, represent each district. And the reason it's set up like that is because how large our city is. You have one representative like myself that covers a portion of it's probably about 26,000 people. It changed because I actually had the largest district, but they end up having to redistrict it. But anyways, so each council member covers a certain area. However, we still vote together on items or projects. So what this, I guess you could say, organization, what they're trying to do is restructure it and making it from 9 council members and a mayor to what they call 5-4, which you will have five at large positions, and then
Okay.
4 regular council, regular positions.
Okay, so it looks
Um,
like they're basically just trying to reconstruct the way you guys are elected on with
right.
bond, right?
So, and And I'll say this. I play, both the devil advocate. So they will tell you, oh, you need more representation. Okay, more representation. How often are you, or if you know anybody, can you pick up the phone and call one of your commissioners? Probably not, because they cover such a broad area. Can you reach out and call your council member? Yes, you can find your council member. You can find me in a grocery store, walking up the street. I mean, because I'm connected, because I serve the area that I'm in. That's not
Right.
excluding the rest of the city, but I'm elected by the people in District 8. So it's for me, it's a to me, you want to have somebody who's familiar with the area, who lives in the area, who faces the same issues as you. If I didn't live off Hope Loop, I wouldn't know too much about the traffic and the accidents in the area. Okay. Also, too, if things are changed, it's hard financially for people that'll be running. It'll almost be as if you're running a mayor's race. That can be very, very expensive, because you're trying to reach out to a population of 210,000 people versus reaching out to 28,000, I'm saying, thousand people.
Right. Yeah.
Easier access.
Exactly. The people who are behind this initiative are former mayors that were beat, council members that were unseated, so I'll just leave it,
I'm
at that.
I'm
But
hearing
at
a
the
lot
end of
about
the day,
that.
It just sounds like
but I will say this: at the end of the day, it's up to the people to make that ultimate decision at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But me personally, I think it's about power. It got something to do with race. They feel it's too many minority, too many Black people in these positions. And I
Right.
don't think they not, they're
it's
not
strategy. It's strategy.
yeah. So that's my take on it. But again, it's up to the people to do their research and make that decision. Again, that's why it's so important to get out and vote and do your research.
It's saying that the issue was removed from the council's agenda back in June and in August,
Mm-hmm.
the regular meeting. But when questions were raised about the advocacy group promoting the change, which you said with the former mayors and the former council members who didn't get voted in, for the vote yes Fed bill, that they had found all the paperwork needed to get the referendum on the ballot. Now, it looks like they did finally get it on the ballot, basically what you're saying.
It's on the ballot. It's a possibility. It might, at the course, they might turn around and say, "Hey, it wasn't done as the process wasn't done as it should have been." But yes, it is. It's definitely on the ballot.
And just for the record, you do not approve of it.
I do not support it.
Gotcha.
Not
Okay. I
at
just wanted
all.
to get you firsthand. And this is what Mayor Coven had to say about it. He said Friday that he opposes the vote yes plan, which would require that 4 of the 9 city council members be elected by citywide voting rather than voting by district, which we reiterated. I just don't think it's what's needed at this time. I'm suspicious as to why it has come up now, Coven said. I think, one, it dilutes the vote. So, do I get better representation from the president because he represents everyone in the United States, or do I still need a congressperson that helps me with my district, such as yourself, Councilwoman? I think dilution of it, taking your representation and spreading it across the city, gives me less access to my representatives, such as yourself,
Right.
and not more.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I agree with that assessment from Mayor Mitch Coven. That's what he had to say. So yeah, you guys heard it from Councilwoman's mouth herself. She does not support it, and
Mm-mm.
she is my councilwoman, and I do not support it either.
I
We
don't either.
down with you, councilwoman. We down
Okay,
with you.
well, just make sure you just go out and vote and not get what's on the ballot mixed up, because again, it seems a little bit misleading. Um, it's the last. Okay, so again, from the city, you will see ours that says City of Fayetteville Public Safety Improvement. You can vote yes or no. Then you have the City of Fayetteville Streets and Sidewalks, yes or no. City of Fayetteville Housing Bond, yes or no. And their initiative states, it says City of Fayetteville Charter Amendment. So that's their initiative, and you vote yes or no. But I will be voting no.
Okay, we got it. We will be voting no with our councilwoman.
Yeah, and I think that people need to know that specifically.
Right,
Make
because
that,
it is
yeah.
confusing, and it seemed like it was strategic.
Right,
Because when you
right.
tell people no, they go in there like, I just remember somebody said no or whatever, and you go down and vote no on what the city is proposing, and that's helping fund our city. So
Yeah,
I would just say the last where it says amended, vote no. But at the end of the day, again, just make sure you go out and vote, because that's who hands it lies in, is the
Gotcha.
voters.
And that brings us to our first break here of the show. We're going to give the councilwoman some time to go get us some water and to get a regroup, whatever. And we're going to come right back in the next few minutes. So we do it for the culture video where our stories matter. Take a little quick break. We'll be back in like 3 minutes, and we're going to finish off with Councilwoman Courtney Banks McLaughlin. We thank you for watching.
we'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome back to We Do It for the Culture Radio, where our stories matter. And we are blessed to have the lovely Councilwoman Miss Courtney Banks McLaughlin with us today. She's been giving it to us straight with no chaser, letting us know all the information that we need for the election, for the early election going on tomorrow, early voting. She's given us a couple of tidbits as far as what's going on with the charter amendment. She also let us know where you can go to as far as to get information for voting, as far as the www.ncsbe.gov for info on the election. So she's been very helpful with that, and we are thankful to have you. Now we just got
Absolutely.
a few more things we want to tackle here, and we'll get out your hair, Councilwoman. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about the midterm elections. Um, what do you think, like as far as with the Republicans? I see a lot of Republicans that are looks like they have a better leg to stand on because they're focusing more on the economy, inflation, gas prices, and stuff like that. Uh, do you think that will get them over the hump by focusing on things like that? Because I know a lot of people are concerned about the grocery stores. The chicken done went up. You know, you can't even go get a burger now. I went to Chipotle. I used to get a extra meat on my burrito. It used to be like $8. They wanted $17 yesterday. So everything is flying high. Everything is went up. The inflation is crazy. There's no more stimulus checks coming in. Do you think the Republicans have a good leg to stand on when they focus on those type of things?
Mm, somewhat. I mean, I think a lot of times, again, people say things that they want, that they want what they want other people to hear. No, I think I said that backwards. A lot of people say things that they interpret people want them to hear. So
Okay.
when it comes with inflation and things of that nature, I mean, it's impacting everybody. But I think with the Democrat, you had a Democrats, Republican. For the most part, it seemed like people stick to their party.
Yeah, I don't know about
You know,
that because I see a lot of
I,
people
I,
going across the aisle. I've seen a lot of people going across the aisle on both sides. Seen some Democrats that have now said, you know what, I'm going to start voting Republican, and vice versa. Especially with the last election, I saw a lot of Republicans with that when they went crazy with the election fraud and all that. Said, nah, I'm tired of this. I'm going over. They didn't want to deal with the whole Trumpism that's going on right now. So it's across the board where people are
yeah, and you know what's funny to me about that is that like even with local election, it's considered nonpartisan. And people always say, well, what are you Democrat? Just ask, council members that will when they're running. And it's like at the end of the day, that only holds so much weight. You can be from a different party affiliation, and still, have still agree on certain things. You can be, I serve on council with some Democrats, and sometimes we don't see eye to eye on the same, on same issue. So it just depends on the individual.
Gotcha. Now, what do you think the ramifications would be if the Republicans were to gain control of the House or Senate or both?
Well, we see what what they do on a regular. I mean, I think it's going to be very hard, and I think even I know I'm bringing it back to local election, and that's why again it's so important to come out and vote because what if this vote yes pass, the city of Fayetteville would have a piece of what we're speaking of when majority of Republicans and people that's just so more about themselves. You will see, and more just about businesses and not actually helping people.
Okay, gotcha. Now, what more can you tell us about the gerrymandering that's going on right here in Fayetteville in our own city? I mean, what can we do about it? Because it's happening a lot. I came here in the end of 2016,
Hmm.
early 2017. I remember my aunt, 70 something year old aunt, uh, she wanted to vote. She got materials in the mail and everything, and she said, "Okay, We go right around the corner from her house to a school right there on Hope Mills Road, and get there and they tell her, no, you're not. It's not your turn to vote. Okay, so we go. We say, okay, I bring her back home. A few weeks later, I bring her back over. We tell her this is not her precinct to come vote. So I've seen it firsthand the last 4 to 5 years I've been here. The redlining, the gerrymandering that's been going on in February. Is there anything you think is going to happen soon? Is it going to change soon? Because for our council, for what I understand, we are Democrats do kind of are the majority on our council.
Mm-hmm.
And
Even
so,
though again it's considered nonpartisan, but yes.
okay, so what are we doing about that here in Fayetteville? Because it's getting bad. I mean, I ran into you at when I went to go vote. And I remember you leaving to go to Lake Rim because there was a bunch of confusion that was going on and stuff like that. So this stuff
Okay.
it's been going on for quite a while now, and it doesn't show any signs of getting any better anytime soon.
Um Again, and I mean it's so sad, but I mean more than anything, again, it's the power of voting, communicating, putting people in the right positions to make things better and to change things. Um, when people go to the polling sites, if you have issues, there's numbers 1-800 that you can dial. And a lot of times people run into the, I guess you call it red tape or whatever, but they don't take the next step with hey, I want to speak to somebody over you, and that's just with general, it's always somebody that's on a higher level that you can contact, because it's one thing to have a conversation with your neighbor. Pick up the phone, and again, it brings me back to the power of voting. That's what we have judges for, because they are the ones that come in when things like this happen with the gerrymandering and everything, and they play a role in that. But I know when I moved here, the issue was with the school systems, and they still seem like they're going through that, as far as what school district or where you live determines on what school district you in. Certain areas, it's almost like they split it down the middle, where if depending on where you live, no, you don't go to Jack Britt, you going to 71st, or you go, it's it's one of those things where people, we have to come together. We got to get out and vote. You got to go to your council meetings, go to your commissioners meetings, contact your state representative, contact your congressman. You have to pick up the phone, email, and the more people, the more noise. So that's, to
Uh,
me, that's all that we can do. And again, making sure that we're putting the right people in these positions.
Now, would you? Now, I thought because we got a Democratic mayor here in Fayetteville.
Mhm.
We have a majority of our council are Democratic. But
Mhm.
like I said, I mean, so the people are voting. They're voting you guys in on, especially on the
Mhm.
Democratic level. So, but like I said, you know what I mean. It's been going on for the last few years. So I would think maybe since we had a black mayor and a majority black in council and a Democrat,
Mhm.
whatever, that we would start seeing more results with it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, but when you say with gerrymandering, I mean like on the state level, because you feel that there's gerrymandering here, like within the city.
I'm talking about in this city, yeah, because like I said, I was getting material telling me to go to Lake Rim, and that's where I was gonna
Mhm.
go. Some said, but check it out. I went on the website, and it told me to go to the firehouse, so that's why I went to the firehouse. So it's still a lot
Mhm.
of confusion and redlining and change the districts. Now
Okay,
this,
with the real, right, and
yeah,
again, that's why too I encourage people to, because the people that's working those posts, some of them are not, well, they do train them, but that's just like if you go to a restaurant. Sometimes you might not get the great service that that you're supposed to get, especially by you being a paid customer. So at these locations, again, if there's an issue, you let someone know that, hey, they're giving me a runaround, because should nobody and again, that's not the city, that's the board of election also that oversees that. But if there's an issue, nobody's supposed to be able to just leave out of there and not know where they're going. You could still fill out a ballot, but they'll have to send, they'll have to, I forgot what they, call it, but it's like another ballot where you have to physically fill it out. And that's why I encourage people to make sure, you go to that website to know exactly where you're supposed to go and to vote early, because if you vote early, you can go to any precinct. Whereas if you wait till the day of, you may get the runaround because you think you in one district and come to find out you're not in that district. Especially if you go in there late at a later time and you find out that your district is all the way across town and you drive there. So that's why it's also important for us as individuals to do better with, getting information and doing our own, our research also. But again, if a person feel like they're being discriminated, there's contact information there at the polling site if you have a issue, but they're not supposed to just send you out like, well, you got to go over there. That's it. You can still fill out a ballot.
Well, I'm going to start to encourage early voting.
I am too.
Because I did not. I mean, because that's a great perk to know that you can go anywhere and vote and not have to worry about your particular.
Right, because anything can happen that that day. I've seen it. Me being out there at the polling site, see where a person like, oh crap, I'm at the wrong voting place. But they're thinking, because again, early voting, you can go wherever. So they assumed on that day that they can do the same thing. And some just don't. And some people just don't even know their district. I have people coming to vote. I mean, I'm happy they're, taking the time to come out and vote, but they don't even know what district they in.
Yeah, well, I think it hurts the elderly the most. Like I said, my aunt is like in her 70s, and they sometimes they don't even want to go out the house at all for anything. But if they can avoid going out, they're going to do it. But they do want to vote. But when they're trying to vote and there's a lot of confusion, that makes them just say,
they're discouraged.
I don't even, they get discouraged.
Yeah.
I don't even You know what I mean?
And then too, they do have the option of voting by mail. And then also, if you are elderly, they have where you can just drive up and they'll actually come to you and you can fill out the information and they'll take it back in there for you, especially those who are disabled. And again, too, it's how it's set up. It's in a sense, it's how it's set up. Sometimes things are set up to frustrate people, but we have to just, stay, I mean, like people like, I don't want to wait in a long line. Oh, it's raining. Like, no, it don't matter. Stay, hang in there, because again, that vote makes a difference on with everything.
Gotcha. Well, we're not gonna hold you too much longer. I know Mahogany has a question that she wanted to ask before we go, and I have one question I had.
No, and I wanted to kind of make a statement too. It's discouraging enough. Well, not discouraging. Our young folks don't want to vote as it is, and to get them to finally register to vote, and then for them to go through the confusion of going to these polls and being in the wrong place. That's discouraging. They probably just end up going home and not voting at all.
Forget it. Right. That's like going to the grocery store and you leave some like, I ain't gonna go in there then. And that's why I thank you all for even, with this podcast, having me on there and educating people, because I hope it was something that, that I said to you all that you didn't know, and you can take that and share that information, and people that's watching
a couple jewels
can, I mean, yes. So, and I mean, and that's, it's so good to communicate and share that information with people, because we have to educate each other. We have to, because a lot of people, they don't stay in the know with politics or anything. Some, especially around this time, if they don't see signs and stuff, a million signs out, they don't even know it's time to vote.
That's a fact.
So we have to, we gotta do better. And then also too, when people get elected, we gotta hold them accountable. You can't just get people in and then that's it. Pick up the phone and call them or send them an email, because we work for you all. But I do just want to mention before I leave, make sure you all, for the viewers, we have our city council meetings the 2nd and 4th of each month at 7 o'clock. Please tune in. That's a way to kind of stay in the know of what's going on in our city, in our community. Also, reach out to the people in your community. Most areas have community watch meetings. Try to find out who the coordinator is, or go onto the City of Fayetteville website, and that information is there. And attend some of these community watch meetings with your council members and any elected official. Make sure you have a relationship with them, and when you have issues or concerns or even suggestions, contact them, because we all in this together. If we want our city to grow and be successful, we have to work. We have to work together and pull our resources together. And then I will also just say too, check out our City of Fayetteville website. There's so many resources that the city help with, financially, funding, dealing with your homes if you're having issues with roofing or certain things that needs to get renovated and things like that. The city can help fund that. Business, we have grants out there that help with businesses, things that help in a community, whether it's community neighborhood signs. So I mean, again, it's just so much information on our website. So please make sure you check out. If you can't attend our city council meetings, we're on YouTube. You can watch it on Channel 7. So just please somehow stay connected so you'll know what's going on in our community. And again, hold the people that's elected accountable, because again, we work for you.
Before you leave, could you tell us a little bit about your business?
Oh, okay, sure. So myself and business partner Tracy, we have a business called Route 87 LLC. We do event planning. Matter of fact, we're having a jazz soiree October the 29th. We're gonna have a live band playing jazz, R&B, neo soul. The tickets are $25. It's at End Zone. If you're interested, please follow us at on Route 87 LLC on Facebook, or Instagram. Definitely follow us. It's going to be a great event. If you love music, definitely come out, especially our jazz lovers, neo soul lovers. So definitely come out, and thank you for letting me put that information out there.
No problem.
Gotcha.
Your Time to Shine, LLC. That's my business, Balloon Decor. And also Sands Mobile Entertainment, where we do photo booth rental, DJing, karaoke, for many events around this community.
That's right. Weddings, birthday parties, military events, corporate events,
everything.
Events, they do it over at Sands Mobile Entertainment. Now, I got one question before we let you go, Ms. Courtney.
Yes, sir.
I plan on running for Congress next term.
Do it.
Do you have any advice for me at all?
Put God first. Pray. Have a support system, because you need that. It's very important to have people that's behind you, that's going to push and root for you, because it's going to be days where you feel like it's a lot, but it's nothing like having a relationship with God and praying and having a good support system. Everything else will follow.
Gotcha. We thank you very much. Again, let's give it up for Councilwoman Courtney Banks McLaughlin. You are awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You have
Thank
been
you all
awesome.
for having me.
Absolutely. Remember, we do it for the culture video. You can catch us out every Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. So make sure you tell somebody about us and tune in. You could always leave a comment. We will try to get to any comments that you may have. I know we had a lot to cover today, but for future references, leave a comment. We'll try to get to your comments. And Thank you again for watching. Thank you again for coming through, Miss Courtney. Appreciate you.
Thank
And
you.
also, look, I'll be remiss. Look, I guess I could leave my contact information.
Oh yeah,
Please do.
absolutely.
Please do.
Because look, I'm telling everybody, listen, you got to hold your council members and elected officials accountable. You need to have a connection with them. Again, I'll try to be out and about as much as possible. But if you have any issues or concerns, whether you're in my district, District 8 or not, please reach out to me. My phone number is 910-973-2413. Again, if it's not my district or if it's not city related and it's maybe county or school board, you could still contact me and I'll still point you in the right direction.
Awesome. Thank you so
And
much.
make sure you get out and vote tomorrow.
Early vote.
Early vote. That's
voting
the
starts
key.
tomorrow.
That
Get out
is the
there and
key.
get it popping.
Mhm.
All right. Maybe I'll run into you again at the polls again.
All right, or at the what is it?
RMA.
The military. Yeah.
Retired.
Yes.
What is it?
I try to
Retired.
tell you, she be out there in the community. She's
Everywhere.
out there. She is not your average councilwoman. She's
Listen.
out there. She's mixing up with everybody. She's not in the house.
She's
all the time.
human.
She's human.
Exactly. Yeah. Look, you can catch me at City Hall, grocery store.
That's it.
I'm here.
We got us a real one here in District 8. We
That's
got
it.
us a real one for sure.
That's right. She came
Okay.
to our little Sands Mobile little get together we had at the house
For sure.
a couple months ago.
She represents.
That's it.
For sure. And we appreciate you for sure. Maybe we'll have you
I
again soon on the
appreciate
show, okay? When we do talk about entrepreneurship.
We do
Okay.
part
All
2
right.
of entrepreneurship.
All right.
All
be
right.
good.
Well,
Take
y'all
it easy.
take care.
All
And
right.
tell the
thank
hubby
you.
I said what's up.
I sure will. Okay.
All
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.